What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, and I'm back in the building. I got my guy back in the building. You know what it is, Mike White. You know, not to be trite. Burgers and Blitzes back in the building. It's been a while, but we're here. Now we're talking about the end of the season. Not only just the end of the season, we're going to be talking about these playoffs, Tom Brady, possibly matchups, all that good stuff. But before we jump into anything else, how you doing, big dog?
I'm doing well, bud. How was your holidays?
It was cool. It was, same thing. I don't really
Chill.
care about no holidays. It's just another daggone day. You feel me? And that's just what it is. But hey, it's another new season. It's another new year. And I'm excited about that. 2023 is here. And I'm excited because maybe some Dallas Cowboys might actually do something this year in the playoffs. We don't know, but it may happen. And I'm going to just live off of that. You know what I'm saying? As everybody's getting in the building, life's crazy. Matthew was good. Keep on coming in the buildings. Go share, share, share. But let's get some Cowboys talk right quick about since we haven't talked since what Jacksonville, and that wasn't good because you've been going ham on Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence. I'm gonna leave that alone though. I'm gonna leave that
Oh,
alone.
he's.
'Cause
Oh yeah, you can.
I get what they're saying with that with Trevor Lawrence, but we know what they're going to do with that. But let's just talk
Hmm.
about since Dallas has played since that Jacksonville game. They had Philadelphia, they had Tennessee, and now you got Washington. Tell me what's your thoughts between those games and until now.
We've been making. I mean, we do what we do, man. We make backup quarterbacks look like they're all stars.
Hey, but we won though.
We did. And I do want to touch on that because you get caught in a vacuum of your own team, and I do say there's no good teams in the NFL, and it's kind of true because you go watch. I mean, Kansas City took Houston to overtime, and you watch this stuff. But we don't. I don't care about them. I care about this, and I want this. I want them to. I'll openly admit it. I want them to score on every drive. I want them to get a pick six on every defensive possession. I want the other team to play with their control.
Right. Right.
I admit that, and anything else short of that is stressful. We go back and look at it. The win probabilities. None of these games were even in doubt. I mean, they had it the entire way through. But when you're in that moment, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Wasn't
It
fun.
wasn't. It wasn't enough fun in that moment. Like I said, we still did pull it out. We got double digit play regular season wins, back to back playoff appearances. We're excited about that. But like I said, I knew we were going to struggle in that Tennessee game. I absolutely knew it because when they were saying all these people are out, that's when Dallas struggles. Whenever they mention this should be a cakewalk for Dallas, that's when we don't do it. So I already
There ain't
knew that.
Tennessee ain't a cakewalk. They're a bad team, but they fight dirty. They eye poke and stuff. Then they hold your gloves. They don't play fair. They muddy the game up, and it's just you getting out of there with a dub is what you can do.
Yeah, and that's what we did, and I'm glad we did that. So heading into Washington, but let's talk about some moves that Dallas made right quick. I'm gonna mention a couple things, and I want you to tell me how you feel about it. Now, me and you have heavily talked about this front office and how goofy it is and how they do things. But I'm gonna jump out the box here, Mike, and I'm not gonna be jumping up and down and saying, "Oh, I love Stephen Jones," and I like that because that ain't the case. But I will actually say this though, Mike. As much as I criticize that front office, I gotta give them some props. I gotta see how you feel about it. They did do something that I've wanted them to do. We have been crying about run game, run defense. They went out and got Jonathan Hankins. He actually
Hmm.
did make a difference. He could be back in these playoffs. We missing him, but they went out and got a guy to help the defense. They got rid of Tristan Hill. They added a guy in the middle that could help the middle. They went out and signed a T.Y. Hilton. I don't care anybody says that's looking like a great pickup for the
All
simple
that
fact
man
that
does is catch third down passes. That's all he does is catch third
hey,
down passes.
catch third down passes. He gonna catch a touchdown, and we're gonna see the Ty celebration. We're gonna see that celebration. But one thing I want to say about the Ty Hilton acquisition, Mike, is that I was saying this that. CD Lamb, when we lost Amari Cooper, I thought Amari Cooper was a mentor in the fact that he's showing you how to play the game, run the routes, this type, and how to get better. When we lost that, when he looked to the right, he didn't have none of that. Michael Gallup, Noah Brown, Jalen Tolbert, James Washington, you have nobody really mentor you. Now you have a guy in T.Y. Hilton who can show you the little nuances because he has been around the league. He's still productive, and you got him at a good rate. So I think that's why it meshes. They just signed Xavier Rhodes. Now, I tell you, this is how I feel about Xavier Rhodes. I know, and we know he ain't the same player he used to be. We all understand that. But here's the thing. He has veteran leadership. I
Mhm.
we got Nashawn Wright and Kelvin Joseph. So if we're going to take a cornerback who's been around the league, who's played a Tom Brady, who's played a Aaron Rodgers, who's a zone type cornerback, who has the length that you want and has been, we don't expect him to be a world beater, but he does bring in good depth. And to me, Mike, I haven't seen the Dallas Cowboys do something like this damn it forever, actually putting players in the position to say, hey, instead of saying, we like the guys we have, we're cool with Nashawn Wright, we're cool with Kelvin Joseph, we can do it. Instead of them being hard-headed, I feel like they're seeing little things that say, no, we need to add this because we're trying to make a run. How do you feel about what I'm saying to you right now?
I like it, and I think I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play more safety than he does corner.
Mm-hmm.
I really wouldn't. Um, Obviously, not starting. You're not gonna put him out there over Hook or or Wilson or Dono or or even Curse, even though Curse is kind of a linebacker slash safety thing, whatever. 'Cause he doesn't have that. He doesn't have the speed. I mean, he's old. He don't have the
Right,
speed no more on that
right.
outside. But he's still up
Smart.
here.
Mm-hmm.
He's still up there, and I think I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever because kind of heard something about that if he doesn't play, like say this game,
Mm-hmm.
if they is he going to be active?
I don't know if he's going to be active
I
because
don't.
they
I doubt it.
listen,
I doubt
I
he's.
doubt he'd be active that quick.
I doubt he's active. If he is, we won't know that till because last year they got us on Ty. He was a late
Mm-hmm.
inactive. We did that pod that morning. He was a late
Right, right,
scratch.
right, right.
What about 1:30? About 1:30,
Mm-hmm.
that stuff should drop, and we'll find out if he's active.
They're saying he isn't active.
There he is. He is okay.
No, he is inactive today.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah,
Right,
I
yeah,
figured as much. I mean, hell,
yeah.
he
He's
may not
not
even
ready.
be in
Right,
town yet.
right, right, right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play because I mean, I know we all know how we feel about Boss Man and Nashawn Wright, but you're going to start a 40-year-old dude over them on the outside in the opening week of the playoffs. I don't see that happening. But I would. I love the signing for all the reasons you're saying. For the same reason, it's the same thing as Ty. Get in the room. Hey, and it's not even just that. It's as much as we talk about the Cowboys fans loving a name, it's like, oh, we need to go like the Earl Thomas shit when he was washed and all that. Hey, buddy. Yeah. So uh, it's defensive coordinators in the league in general loves names,
Hmm.
and they know with T.Y. Hilton, it could be a hologram of T.Y. Hilton over there lined up outside with CD, and they still going to put somebody over him because that's T.Y. Hilton, and he
Right,
ain't going to get us,
right,
and that's all that matters.
right.
That's really all that matters is just somebody else out there that you're remotely scared of because outside of Diggs, some dudes is getting picked on.
I know. You saw what they did to Nashawn Wright, and that was what was his last name again? Dobbs. Dobbs came
Yeah,
in there and 7 of 10.
He looked like Charlie Villanueva.
Villanueva, he did, don't he? With that hair, I mean, he looked just as soon as he took his helmet, I said, "That's Charlie Villanueva." It made me feel like the same thing. But I mean, that was a guy who never started an NFL game his whole career. He's been in the league, and he gets 7 of 10 targets on him for 105 yards. So, what do you think, a Tom Brady or somebody like that? If they seen that, they're licking their chops. And here, just like you bouncing off you, they're not going to start a old Xavier Rhodes, but you got him for depth. So you still start a Nashawn Wright, but I think this is what it is. You bring him in because he's already been around George Edwards. So that's another person who's familiar with the
Hmm.
program, familiar with the coaches. He can come in and mentor a Nashawn Wright. So while he might be out that week, he can teach Nashawn Wright or even possibly Cousin Joseph. This is what you need to look for when you're playing. This is how you need to play when you're going right here. I think that's what's going to be huge and key. And then you can play him in some spot duty. You don't start him, but you can play him in some spot plays right now because it's
Hmm.
not like he hasn't been playing. He just hasn't been playing on the field, but it's not like he's not hadn't been on a roster. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I really like, that you can play him in a spot duty. And if guess what? If Nashawn is getting torched up, now you at least you can have somebody who can come in you feel better about than Kelvin Joseph or Mackenzie Alexander, I believe. I feel a little bit better, even though Xavier Rhodes is not what he used to be. I still feel better than having those guys out there getting totally destroyed and having their confidence shot because a veteran is destroying them right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And the
that's just
reason
kind
the
of
reason I said safety is because he
right.
lost his speed like that. His last year in Minnesota, he had like he had like 500 yards of pass interference penalties because he kept
Right.
grabbing on dudes because
Hmm.
his heels was gone.
Right. Now, I'm going to ask this question. This is from Matthew Villegas. If I said that correctly, if I didn't, I totally apologize to you. But he says, what is your ideal wild card player situation? I'm going to go with you first, Mike.
Man, this thing's such a mess right now. I'll tell you who I'd like to play. I want to go play Minnesota. Can we play
Oh,
Minnesota in the wild
man.
card round?
I ain't playing no damn Minnesota. I don't want to play no damn Minnesota. No,
Why
I
not?
won't.
They
Because
trash.
I don't care. I want the smoke, Mike. I want the
Have
smoke.
at
See,
it.
yeah,
Have
you're
at it.
right. You don't want
Have
that
at
smoke.
it. You want to
Bro,
go play
you will
San? You
eventually,
want to go?
bro.
You want to go
Yes,
play
I
San
do.
Francisco
Yes, I
again?
do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Why are we scared of them? Why are we scared of
Man,
them? Why are we scared
wh-
of them?
why are you going to pick the hardest route when you can get there 2 hours faster?
You don't know if that you can be just because you smack Minnesota don't mean it's gonna happen in the playoffs, dog. Let's keep it
That's a
real.
bad team. That team's
You're right,
broken.
it's a bad team. I don't respect no Minnesota, but you never know what can happen. Anything can happen in the NFL. And guess what, Mike? Hold up, Mike. Hold up, Mike. Remember, when Dallas is favored to do good, we choke. So if we play a Minnesota in the first round, everybody's gonna say, "Oh yeah, Dallas already beat Minnesota 43. Dallas been owning Minnesota. Dallas gonna be killing." And then guess what? Dallas is struggling against Minnesota. Kirk Cousins comes out there and plays like he never played before. That's what happens to Dallas. So I want the smoke where we go into Tampa Bay, where they say, "Oh yeah, Tampa owns Dallas." Tom Brady 7-0. He owns them. This should be a cakewalk. Blah, 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 blah. This is our perfect time because I'm going to say this to you, Mike, and I want to get your feelings on it. If we go in there and we play Tampa Bay in the first round and we beat them, you're not going to tell me that that's not going to be a confidence builder going into the next round, knowing you finally slayed a dragon who's beat you your whole time in Dallas and you finally knock him out and you're going to the next round and playing. You don't feel like that's not going to give you confidence, especially when you've been nothing but first round exits for it seems like forever?
Confidence is one thing, but when you walk away from that fight with a busted lip and a black eye and a ruptured
Oh,
eardrum, and
man.
you gotta go play the
Busted
next
what?
damn week.
Green Bay didn't kick our ass, Mike. We beat ourselves.
Hey,
Aaron
you know
Rodgers didn't
what?
beat us.
Let me be full transparent here. That motherfucker's a boogeyman. I want nothing
He
to.
ain't no boogeyman.
He's a boogeyman.
Not to
Watch him.
me.
Watch him.
Not to me. I am
He
gonna
ain't
watch
got
him.
you.
He got us, so what? He didn't get us this year. We got ourselves. Did he get us this year?
I mean, that's a fun story to
Yes or
tell
no?
yourself.
Did he get us? Or did we get ourselves in that Green Bay game? Talk to me. Tell me the truth.
That's
He didn't get us.
that's loser cope. The fact of the matter is, you lost the game. You know, like,
We
oh, we
lost the
didn't.
game, but
He didn't beat us. We beat ourselves. Like that, man.
okay, Adam, well, let everybody. Okay, well, I'm gonna let y'all be terrified. I'm not gonna be terrified of no 45-year-old quarterback. I'm not gonna be terrified of a no 39-year-old because when we played in that Green Bay game, it wasn't Rodgers. They ran the ball on us. That's what you should have been terrified on. They killed us in the run game. They ran it down our throats. They were disrespectful, running it down our throats. It wasn't nothing about Aaron Rodgers. It was about y'all ain't got no good run defense, and we're gonna hold on to it. So guess what? Yeah, me personally, yes. Whoever don't want the smoke, that's fine. I'm not hating on you. I want the smoke. I'm tired of Tom Brady being 7-0 against the Dallas Cowboys. You had an opportunity 2 years ago in 2021 to beat them. We should have. Then this year, they called us out. They called the team out. Devin White comes on camera and says, man, we knew what you were going to do, Kellen Moore. Man, we knew what the Cowboys were going to do. We ain't worried about y'all. If I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm the Dallas Cowboys, we ain't never beat this dude and we can go there. If I'm Kellen Moore and I heard this dude saying, we know your offense, we know what you're going to do, I would take that as a personal challenge to come in here and show you that I can really do it. You eventually want to be a head coach, Kellen Moore? Well, here's the opportunity to show you can be one. So why are we running away from the smoke? Because eventually you're going to see one of these teams. Eventually, you probably going to see a San Francisco. Eventually, you may see a Green Bay. Eventually, you may see a Tampa Bay. And eventually, eventually you may see them. So why not? And if you get to the Super Bowl and you smoke those guys along the way, that makes you feel a little bit better. So for me, I want the smoke.
That's the way it's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's the
I
way
want
it's
the
gonna
smoke.
be.
I want the
I
smoke.
mean, we don't have a choice. You know what it's gonna
Right.
be.
I
It's
know.
don't catch me out here on the order. I don't care about the order of the seating or whatever. We're gonna end up going through San Francisco, Green Bay, and damn Tampa Bay if we want to get
Yeah.
to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's just the way because we can't have shit the easy way. It's always got to be the cowboy way. We got
That's
to go
cool.
out there. We got to run Zeke right at Vita Vea 15 times on first down. You know, we got to go
He
out there
didn't
and
have a
establish
bad
that.
game that first game though. This year, he didn't. He was running
Hey,
good.
I tell you what. One thing, that Tampa Bay team from Week 1 and the Dallas team from Week 1 do not exist anymore.
Right.
That might as well have been 10 years ago. Those
Right.
teams do not exist anymore.
Right. I mean, I'm gonna
That
just say
was
this.
Dak was playing with that line for the first time. He didn't have Gallup. Hell, Gallup's just now kind of coming around to
He didn't
being.
have T.Y. Hilton,
Didn't have T.Y. Hilton, and it's there was
and we're
something
better
there.
than last year. We're
They were
better than
they
that
were
first
still
game.
reeling off losing Tyron Smith.
Yes,
It's just yeah. It's they're a better team. Those teams don't. And Tampa Bay is a significantly worse team. But it's I mean still Tom Brady. Tom Brady been in the playoffs more times than seasons Dak's played.
that's fine. I get
I
it, and I
yeah that
understand it. I get it and I understand it, but I'm tired of it. I want to smoke. I want to
I get
end.
it. I
I,
get
I
it.
want to end that streak. I want to end that streak, bro. I don't want Tom Brady retiring knowing he's never lost to Dallas.
I'd love nothing more. I'd love nothing more than Dak to walk in there and slay the team that busted his
Slay
fucking
the
hand.
dragon. Slay the
Slay
dragon.
the, slay Pablo Rogers, send him into retirement. Put Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers into retirement. Go ahead and send them into retirement because they done. And then but San Francisco, the old polyjuice potion going to run out on Purdy, and he's going to
You
go out
feel
there
me?
and throw for 80 yards and 4 picks.
You feel me?
Because
That's what we.
that dude is going to turn into a
I
pumpkin at some
know.
point.
I
He
know.
will.
I
He's
know
going
this.
to.
I've been
It's
saying that.
he was Mister Irrelevant.
I
His
know.
window. There's only so far you can go. Like it's a lot of smoke and mirrors and bullshit like that.
Okay.
It
So I'm gonna give.
Goodwin's still got a tweaked knee, don't he?
Yeah,
I
he
thought he
might
got
have a
hurt last
tweak.
game.
So, Camber, how you doing? Camber, how you doing? It's good to talk to you. She says, how are we going to handle Brady, Evans, and Godwin then? Well, we do have Trevin Diggs, don't we? We have Trevin Diggs. I think he can bang with if Godwin is a little bit tweaked. We got guys. I mean, I feel like we got Deron Bland. He's pretty good. I know he's a rookie, but he can cover. So it's not like we're bare back there. We got Malik Hooker. We got J-Ron Curse. We got Donovan Wilson. We do have some guys out there.
That
And if
ain't
you
that ain't, that ain't that ain't the important part. We're getting Hankins back, and he's going to take away that interior passing lane where Brady can take 2 steps forward and lace
right,
it
and
downfield.
we can attack him because he can't scramble. We can really attack him, and you know he's going to throw the short passes. So it's Dan Quinn. You feel me? It's Dan Quinn. God, you got to come up with a good defensive plan. You feel me? Kellen Moore, y'all got to come up with good defensive plans. If y'all come up with good game plans, we can beat them. I'm not scared of them. Okay, Leonard
My
Fournette ran for 100 yards against us, and he ain't seen 100 yards since. The rushing
they
game is last in the league.
I'm worried that they're worried about this defense, and they're going to want to run the ball even more. And it's going to if Dak doesn't convert 14 third downs, we lose the game because this defense has been getting cooked. They are the 20
They
heading
have.
into the playoffs. They are the 29th ranked passing defense in the league. 29th. They were top two until week 10, and then it dropped to number 8, and then it dropped to number 12, and then it dropped to 17, and then it dropped to freaking 29th. They're the worst passing defense to make the playoffs in the league. That worries me. That worries me from not that standpoint, but the Jones boys mentality and this team's mentality. We got to run the ball, keep the defense off the field. Well, if your run game's getting 2 yards per carry, who the hell are you keeping off the field? Your kicker? You know, that worries me. The way they think, it's not about how can we go put points on the board. It's about how can we keep the defense off the field.
All right. So when we played them last year, right? What did we have almost the same identical roster almost, except we had Mari Cooper.
Yeah,
So I don't see the big difference of why we can't move the ball on them. And our defense, yes. But
you're
think about
preaching to the
this.
choir.
But think about this though, Mike. In that first game, as bad as our offense played, they only scored 19 points. They didn't start scoring until the end of the
Mm-mm.
game. So it wasn't like they were killing us even with that offense. So when people talking about, oh, what about this and what about that? Yes, that first game, we offensively looked like trash, but they weren't dominating us on offense. Tom Brady wasn't looking good on offense. He was throwing that ball away as soon as he saw pressure from Micah Parsons. He was throwing that ball away. Dorrance Armstrong Jr. has stepped up. Dante Fowler. We have different guys now. You got Anthony Barr. You got. I'm not. Listen, I'm saying linebacker Damone Clark, a young guy. We got young speed now that we didn't have when we played them that first time. So I'm just sorry. For me, I'm not cool with no Trayvon Mullen star. I don't know about that. I just think you just show Trayvon, Nation right out there and do it. But for me, dog, I'm just saying, I want the smoke with this Tampa Bay team. I don't feel like we should be afraid of them. They beat it. They beat us 19-3. It wasn't no convincing victory on no offensive side of the ball for no Tampa Bay. Yes, they ran the ball with Leonard Fournette. He ain't did nothing since then. We're getting Jonathan Hankins back. I'm thinking Dan Quinn should really concentrate on that, but attack Tom Brady, make him uncomfortable, dog. When he gets uncomfortable, he's rattled. He doesn't play good. And we were getting pressure on him, but guess what? We just weren't converting things. It wasn't like they were an offensive juggernaut. They scored one touchdown on us, one passing touchdown with Michael Evans. Rest were field goals. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just got distracted by a comment in the chat. This guy's
That's
talking about he wants to make Kellen Moore's trying to make Dak pass happy. Dallas Cowboys are the third most run happy team in the league on early downs.
They almost
If
had
that
2,000 yard rushers. What are we
yeah,
talking about here?
Zeke and Pollard have like a combined 430 freaking carries.
They're
What are you
like
talking about?
they've been top
Dak's,
five all year
Dak has
rushing.
less passing attempts than Kenny Pickett. We
He's
talking about
averaging only
pass
30
happy.
because you know what? This is, Mike. I'm gonna just tell you because a lot of
That shit's
people.
annoying, dude.
Hold on. You're right. It is annoying. That's why I always fight it on my Twitter. You see me on my Twitter, right? You see me being sarcastic
Yeah.
every week on my Twitter when I'm like, pretty good run. For being a pass happy team, it's pretty good to have 1,000-yard rushers ever in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. So if you're a pass happy team, you're not gonna have 1,000-yard rushers.
Oh.
And if people
And
really
the only
throw
reason they're afforded those attempts is because Dak keeps converting third downs. They were running
right,
the ball more with Dak back because they're getting to sustained drives.
Dallas is averaging 36 to 37 carries a game. He's averaging 30 to 31 passes a game. Period. He's only averaging like 240-yard passes a game. We're averaging like 145. Dallas is not a passing team. They get that because people want to say he passes at the inopportune times, but Dallas is not a pass happy team. The stats don't say that. So I want to break that narrative that that's not true. I've said it time and time again the last 3 weeks. You can't be a pass happy team when you have two running backs almost about to hit 1,000 yards. It's never happened.
Flip it. How about we throw the ball on first down so you don't have to throw the ball on third down? How about that? Let's try that 1 week. Let's try that 1 week. Let's throw the ball on first down so we don't have to throw the ball on third down. Let's just try it. Experiment. See what happens. Crazy proposition. You do have a quarterback who's got a better EPA per play this year than Patrick Mahomes. Just saying, numbers don't lie, right there. And 39% of his attempts are on third down.
I mean, I'm gonna post this. I mean, this guy says it's the same thing. I guess he agrees with you. Is it Riley? He said if they would throw the ball more often on early downs, Dak wouldn't have to be Superman every third down. Makes sense, right?
Yes, I would love for my quarterback not to have to throw the ball every third down. I
Well,
would
see,
love
we
for it to
get
be 3rd and 1, and you do a quarterback sneak or you do a little handoff and you get move the chains. Okay, you get you a 6 down pass. I'm not asking to air raid Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech this damn thing. Mahomes ain't even airing it out like that in Kansas City. They do a little 4 yard swing pass, a little 6 yard slant route on first down. Then they run the ball on second down. Now it's 3rd and 1, and they got all the options in the world. Then they'll throw a little shovel pass to the tight end or some bull crap because Andy Reid's a wizard, and they move the chains. I just want 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 7, 3rd and 15. It's not too much to ask.
What's up, dog? My dog, Boss Cowboys in the building. What's up with you, big dog? So yeah, man. I mean, I don't mind. I don't have a problem throwing early on a first down. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I have a problem with is when he does something goofy, like let's say when we get a turnover, we can just take it down the field and he'll do a damn reverse. Like you don't got to do that, dog. Let's just get in the end zone and let's get a little cushion and then do some trickery. You know what I'm saying? But after you get a turnover, don't do it on first down because it puts us in a bad spot. But I don't be tripping on Kellen Moore. That's just my opinion. I don't hate him. I just feel like you just gotta stay consistent in what you're doing. And because, like I said, with Dan Quinn, you can get mad at him too with all that damn stunting with little dudes in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You stunting little dudes in the middle. You putting guys in the middle at 0-1 techs that are undersized, and then they decide to run the ball because when you seen that game against Green Bay, Mike. He was subbing. He was subbing smaller guys in the middle, and Aaron Rodgers would come right to it and see it and run right up the middle.
And then
right?
he was doing backflips off of Micah Parsons' face all day because they put him in off the ball linebacker, which is another conversation because they did draft Micah Parsons to be an off the ball linebacker. Then the injuries and shit happened. He ended up being a pass rusher. He might have been the worst off the ball linebacker I've ever seen in the NFL that game. They absolutely exposed him. Bad. Real bad. Real bad. Keep him on the line. So that's it's just
It's
Dan
like
Quinn.
they were really. It's like they really studied Dan Quinn in that game. To me, that was a game they studied Dan Quinn more than Kellen Moore because they came at us running. They ran like 9, 10 straight times on us in the
Dude,
first drive. That
losing.
was.
Yeah, everybody's pressed about losing Dan Quinn, and I don't know why. I really don't get it. I don't get it.
I'm not. I'm
Your
not
def-
pressed on losing Dan Quinn. I'm
your
not pressed.
defensive coordinator is only as good as his players. When the defensive coordinator has no good players, he's a bad defensive coordinator. What about old boy in the Rams? Oh, he's going to be the next hot topic. His scheme, his this, his that. His scheme was Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald playing out of their mind. And the minute they regressed, look what happened. Can't do anything. That your scheme is only as good as your. There's bad defensive coordinators, obviously, like Marinelli, wanting to get upfield, where they and their personnel and stuff. It's
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing, Dan Quinn. Here's my thing, Dan. If you want to go, this is just my opinion about that situation. You want to go be a head coach, in my opinion, you're gonna flop again. You're gonna flop. You're gonna
defensive
flop.
head coaches are a bad idea.
You're gonna flop once again if Dan Quinn takes that job. Let's say if he goes to Denver, you're gonna flop. I feel like you better. In my opinion, you're a better defensive coordinator. We've seen what happened in Atlanta. You were living off other players. That wasn't your guys, and as soon as it came to be your team, y'all started losing. That it'll be an initial, Mike, in my opinion, that first initial gush. Look at Dan Quinn. Then after that, dog, it's gonna fall flat on his face, and then Dan Quinn's gonna be looking for another defensive coordinator job. That's just my opinion. So just stay where you at, dog, and try to continue to be great because you got players here that love you. You can continue to build like the milk and honey. But hey, if you want to go do that, that's fine. It's not like Dallas with the talent is going to fall off just like you said. So that's kind of my thoughts about this. So Justin, boom, I'm never cried about no Dan Quinn leaving, so you'll never
And I've
catch me.
always said
You
defensive
ain't never,
coordinators
yeah.
are a product
You might if you're
product
saying
of their
y'all,
players.
yeah, if you're saying y'all, you talking about people in this chat, you ain't never heard me say, oh, please, Dan Quinn, don't ever leave and don't ever go. I will never be married to a coach or a player ever in your life. So don't ever
I
say that
promote
about
Al
me.
Harris in a heartbeat, never miss a step.
Never, don't ever say that here. I never said nothing like I need some Dan Quinn to stay here for Dallas Cowboys. But let's talk about this Washington game. A lot of it doesn't have any relevance, as they say. Who do you feel like we should play our guys because of the Philadelphia potential still get a 1C? How do you feel about this?
I honestly, honest to God, I mean, obviously I want them to win, and I'd be upset if they lose because the Commanders are a terrible football team.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to don't lose 3 defensive players in one play like you did last week.
Right.
Don't get your guard rolled up on. Don't lose your center. Don't just get out of this damn thing healthy. Period. That's don't let Dak have a bad game because then my mentions turn into a tar pit. God forbid he throws one bad pass and already gets lit up. Just get through there. Put a clean game on tape. Put a clean game on tape where you don't get 6 yards of carry hung on you. And fix your assignments on defense. I'm tired of these third down blown coverage, man. These third down blown coverages is we do so good. We have a good run defense because Tank's one of the best run defenders in the league. We get them on 3rd and 8, and all of a sudden it's a damn 19-yard completion.
Yep.
And then another one, and then another. Get off the field. Mm-hmm. Get off the field.
I agree. I agree with you with the communications issues because you're seeing it like the last 2 or 3 games they're talking to each other like they don't know what's going on, and the next thing you know you see a busted play and a guy gets a big gain.
It reminds me of Monty Kiffin.
Yes.
Everybody's like, hey, or the Rob Ryan. Who's Rob Ryan hell of a defense, and they let him play 14 players on the field all the time, like he was trying to do.
Hey, when I interviewed Matt Johnson, Big Dog, because he played with Ron Ryan that year, and he was telling me how complicated it was and how nobody was. He said this is how it made it complicated. He said Ron Ryan would have a defense, right, and then all during week they would have that defense. In the last couple days he changed it because he's trying to get tricky on them, and he started throwing in other different packages. He said so it would confuse the players because they were thinking it was going to be this one kind of defense the whole way, and then Rob Ryan would start throwing in these different packages at the last minute to try to surprise the other team, but it would actually hurt his players because they would miss the assignments and blown coverages will happen. So I don't know if that's happening with Dan Quinn, but all I know is that it better be clean for these playoffs for the coaching staff. Period.
Players they've been chirping a little bit at each other after them blown third downs. And then we go out there. What really, really chats me is this has happened 3 weeks in a row now, where you put a good drive together and it's the second quarter, and you find, the team, Dak runs down there. They have a 7 minute, 9 play scoring drive, and then you go out there and you let the other team just march right down the field and score, and like Trevor Lawrence, they let him right back in that damn. They were up 14. Was it 14-3? And let
Yeah.
them right back into the game in like 90 seconds. Just let them right back into the game, and then they got the ball back after the half. You know, it's that none of that. You got to play. As cliche as it is, complimentary football. But and then the same thing with the offense. I mean, you get a free possession from your defense at the 40-yard line, and you want to run two halfback dives, and then a failed third down swing pass, and then try a 52-yard field goal. Hopefully, that you get a free possession. Go for a kill shot. It's a free possession. On first down, go for a kill shot. Then you can run your ball on second, third down. And you know what? You still have a fourth down. You don't have to voluntarily give the ball away. You have a fourth down. But all of a sudden, this team is castrated on fourth down. There's been none of that this year. There's been no balls. Absolutely no balls on fourth down. And they haven't done as much as we talked about Bones, and he was trying to be the main character a year and a half ago and doing all that nonsense on fourth down. There's been no fourth down trickery this year. Zero.
Is that bad?
I mean, judging on Twitter, the play is only bad if it doesn't work. But I would
Okay.
love to see them. You know what I mean? I would love to see them try a little, tight end leak or something like that on fourth down, get back behind the defense when they're trying to block the punt, something like that. Just you don't have to try the damn what was it? Everybody got mad at him. It was like a damn triple flea flicker or some
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
on fourth down, and it didn't work and it got busted. No, you don't have to do all that. Hell, do a quarterback sneak. I know that's real tricky. We got a 245-pound quarterback and we don't sneak him like he's Philip Rivers. I don't get it.
So let me ask you this, and you know, it's all in the air about Dak Prescott's interceptions, wooty woo, whatever. How do you feel about that? Do you think, I'm gonna just get your thoughts. I know it's foolery in my opinion, but what do you think about his interceptions?
I think he's the most unlucky quarterback in the NFL this year. I mean, you could talk about bad passes, it's a dumb play. Well, this ties back into running the ball on first and second down and constantly putting your quarterback on third and eight plus, third and 15, third and 20, third and 30, third and 22, third and 11, third and 17. When you're constantly putting your quarterback in these third and Texas, third, you got to go from El Paso to Longview, and you got 4 hours to get there, buddy. You got to figure some shit out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense knows that. And then you go out there and like the one on versus Tennessee, he had two versus Tennessee. One wasn't his fault. One I kind of put on him because he had Dalton Schultz 1-on-1 versus Kevin Byard. And you tried Dalton Schultz versus their number one corner on third and long, and you left the pass too far inside. He did have a linebacker coming up to crack him. That's why the pass is on the inside shoulder. But then Byard said, "Thank you, sir," because Dalton Schultz attacks the ball like a snowflake falling on the ground. So that's part of it too. These receivers, these pass catchers in general, they don't attack the ball. They're real pat. They let it come to them, and they let the safety cross their face. They let the corner. They let too many defenders cross their face. CD's been a lot better at it the last half of the year. He's really came on, and that's been real fun to see. And I mean, you can call it Dak excuses, you can call it whatever. If I would say this about another team. I would say this about hell. I don't even about Trevor Lawrence. If his receivers were letting the ball come to them and let defenders cross their face for easy pass breakups and interceptions, I would say the same thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. That makes a lot of sense right there. Especially receivers coming to him, fighting the ball, body catching. Now I will say Gallup does attack the ball. He does not really have his legs under him, but he will go up and get it. He will go up and attack it. Like he will fight for it. I will say Gallup, but Gallup is still trying to come in. But we don't have the James Washingtons now. We got T.Y. Hilton in that. So do you think starting going into the playoffs, do you think the receiving core should T.Y. Hilton get the number 2 nod, or should it still be Gallup starting on that outside? Who would you start for the playoffs opposite of a CD Lamb?
He started all three.
Okay.
I don't think Noah Brown wouldn't be getting reps on another NFL football team with capable wide receivers, man.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm a Noah Brown fan. I've been a fan for that dude since the draft, but he's been injury prone his entire career. He's got hands made of brick. He's personally volleyed up 3 turnovers this year. And like hell, Dak hit him last week. Tennessee coming right across the middle on that 10-yard cross route on third down. Hit him right in his freaking right on stride. Everything that people say Dak can't do. He can't throw across the middle. He can't hit dudes on stride. He can't make the clutch plays. Hit him right in his fucking hands, and he dropped it. Make a play. Make a play. Meanwhile, your quarterback's picking himself up off the ground because he stepped into a defensive tackle to make that throw. Make a play. And how many chances? How many chances are you going to get?
Especially in those playoffs.
I'd start all 3.
Yeah.
Period. And Noah Brown can come in there and he can go back to being a gunner on special teams or whatever he wants, because obviously Kelvin Joseph can't do it. So put Noah Brown back to gunning on special teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's sad. It hurts me to say that. And hopefully with Gallup making those toe tap catches, hopefully his knee's coming back and actually alive. Maybe need to put a heating pad on it before the game or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna ask you this question. We kind of already talked about it, but I want you to just kind of graze on it because I kind of spoke on it. I'm gonna let you kind of graze on it. This is from Adam Wassam. Do you guys think Xavier Rhodes has anything left to contribute? So obviously we said we don't feel like he's gonna start, but give me your point on what you feel like he can really contribute going into these playoffs, Mike.
He's going to be in your big packages, and I think they'll have him play at safety when they're giving Gus spot breaks. End up you're probably looking 20 snaps a game, 20, 25 snaps a game, maybe. And it's got kind of like defensive tackle snaps. Hankins gets about 20, 25 a game, but those 20, 25 a game may really matter.
Right, they'll be when they really count.
So
right,
that's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, he's a hell of a player, and like we were talking about, it's still a name. It's still a name, and this league cares about names. That's why this league still cares about Odell Beckham. The guy hadn't done shit in 3 years. But hey, can we go get? It's just that sort of situation.
But do you feel me where you're saying I haven't seen this? I want to get your answer on it. I haven't seen this. I don't know if it's super aggressiveness, but getting players that can actually help us get to the get us over the hump like in the playoffs. Because remember, we always hear Stephen Jones saying we're good. Before, in my opinion, we saw Stephen Jones, if we were going into the playoffs with Nashawn Wright and Kelvin Joseph, he say, we're good. We like the guys who we have. We can go ahead and do this. But now I feel like they're saying, no, we have a squad that actually can probably do this. So let's add a few pieces here and there to try to get us over, because it seems like they're doing that this year. And that's why I ain't tripping on front office. How do you kind of feel about that? They're making some more aggressive moves to kind of get them over the hump. Do you feel that way?
Oh, Bubba.
Right. Are you there?
Easy. Yeah, just trying to keep you. You were. I got your point. Yeah, I got your point. I think it's smart. I mean, because they were there for the last month. They were stripping talent. I don't think they should have got rid of Basham. I don't think they should have got rid of Hill when your team was already struggling stopping the run. And you can say they're not run stoppers, not this or not that. Gallimore ain't did shit. Why'd you cut Tristan Hill instead of Gallimore? I don't. It's
right.
They stripped away depth. It arguably it was already, they thought, it's kind of the way the NFL works. The minute you think you're deep somewhere and you try to make a roster move to try to shift stuff around to wide receiver, offensive line, or whatever, all of a sudden you lose 2 guys there in one game, and now that depth you thought you had and that's exactly what happened. I mean, we saw it last week. They lost 3 defensive players in one play. I didn't even think that was possible.
Right.
I mean, granted, a couple of them came back, but when you see 3 guys laid on the turf and need medical help after one freaking play, they kind of
be like, whoa, what we going to do here? Shout
Yeah.
out to my sis for the $5 holla. Appreciate you, $5 holla DC for live. Let's go, Cowboys. Appreciate you, sis. Appreciate everything you do. Appreciate your support. Appreciate everybody in the chat. We got over 80 in the chat right now. We appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thank you for all the questions you guys have been doing and things of that nature. And just bouncing off what you just said, Mike, as we kind of get ready to roll this up. I like you said, they're not taking away, but that stood out to me about the Gallimore thing because he's been a disappointment. Especially this year, especially the way he was playing toward the end of last year. They were looking for things. You're coming around your contract year, you're expecting him to play. But to me, he reminds me of Malik Collins. He reminds me of a guy who can rush the passer, but you can't stop the run. And they're putting him in those positions to stop the run. And I don't think he wants to do it. So I think that's why I don't think Gallimore wants to do it. I think he wants to get stats. I think he wants to get sacks. And because he wants to get sacks and stats, he doesn't hold that middle like he's supposed to.
He's going this way. That? The running back's going this way. They're two ships passing in the night. Yeah, for sure. It's the same thing with Robert Quinn. People are like, oh, Robert Quinn, look how good he was for this defense. Dude, anytime when Robert Quinn was here, if the offense needed 6 yards, they ran it right at Robert Quinn because he's 10 yards upfield trying to get around to the cornerback, and that running back's gone. They'd be a dump off right behind him. They run, or hell, they wouldn't even have to dump it off. They just run it. They can run a halfback option right at him, and he'll just blow right past it, trying to get to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So the over penetration, he's a Marinelli player, and that's Marinelli. I want him to get upfield. I want him to get upfield. I want him to get upfield. Oh yeah, you get upfield, and how many times? And he didn't want defensive tackles. He didn't want the big nose tackle. That's Dan Quinn and George Edwards bringing that in. So your edge rushers are coming upfield. You got nothing in the middle. Here goes Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady steps up 3 steps, laces it right across the middle for a 3rd down completion. Stop me if you've heard the story before. So
we've definitely heard that story before, time and time again. But hopefully, like I saw, they rewrite the story this time. One can only hope because you have the same chance as everybody else. But this is an open division. I know San Francisco, they got that great defense, but just like you said, that quarterback right there with Brock Purdy, that's the Joker going to turn into a pumpkin. I've been screaming it since they've been talking that Monday night game he played against Seattle tonight. Oh, Brock Purdy. Like you said, dude was the last player drafted for a reason. Stop hyping him up like he's the world's greatest quarterback. And it kills me when I hear these announcers that were former football players hyping him up, knowing damn well y'all played the game, and y'all don't make good analysis. But when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, right, y'all want to say, we've seen this before, blah, blah. Y'all want to be overcritical at that, but then y'all want to praise a Brock Purdy like he's the next greatest quarterback in the world. And, bro, he was sitting a bench behind both of them quarterbacks and wasn't getting no tick. He is only good because he has Christian McCaffrey, a decent offensive line, good receivers, and a damn good defense makes him look good.
Been San Francisco, as I've said for years now, San Francisco has been the best team in the league for the better part of a half decade, if not longer. And they've been held back by quarterback play. And they will be held back by quarterback play yet again. It's just a matter of what team that runs out on. And dude, those that Thursday game versus Tennessee, I had to mute it. Dak goes out there and laces a damn 3rd and 18 completion, and they're still talking about how Dobbs or whatever the hell his name is, Charlie Villanueva, is he's gonna be a winner, this, that, and the other in the league. They're not. It's just, I don't know. My QB never gets any credit. He never gets any credit. He really doesn't.
I don't understand the hate for him. I really don't. I don't, because it's like they never want to give him his due. But they'll go out and say a Brock Purdy, folks. Are we serious?
Come on now. Are we serious?
Mr. Irrelevant, and y'all are talking about Brock. I was listening to these guys saying he shows poise beyond his years. He is different. No, he's not.
No, he was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. He wasn't a 3rd round pick. He wasn't a 4th round pick. He was a 277th pick overall.
And now all of a sudden he's nasty. So then how come he couldn't take Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo's job if he's so damn good?
They were forced to
play him. They didn't have no choice. If he's so damn good, how come he didn't take their spots? Man,
Brock Purdy's the next Peyton Manning, bro.
Oh, look at Dak Prescott throwing all these interceptions. You be concerned. He's regressing. Just like with Richard Sherman. I agree with him with Dallas saying, you know what?
Richard Sherman's ass.
No, listen. listen, I agree with him when he was saying about how we be choking the playoffs and he's seen this offense before. I agree with that. But for you to come out there and be critical of Dak's interceptions, but then you hyping up Brock Purdy, bro, you just a hater. And then I like what that girl said when he said, "What about Dak's interception?" She said, "Well, he's coming on the panel. Why don't you ask him?" And guess what? You didn't. He didn't ask. So you talk all that shit. You talk all that shit, Richard Sherman.
talking all
Talking
that
all
shit.
that trash, and she busted you out on live when she was like,
Mr. Prescott, I
"Oh,
would
good,
like
good."
to ask you about your foundation. Could I get an autograph? Could
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wash your
You didn't
car?
have no smoke
Could I
then,
wash
though.
your car?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You was talking all that trash about his
Punk
interception,
ass.
this, and but then when she said, "Well, ask him when he get on the panel about his interceptions," you want to go on there and be like, "Oh, well, I just want to ask you a question about. I understand the first interception was off Noah Brown, but it looked like when you were throwing the ball. Oh, you buttering it up. Now you throwing whipped cream on and making it all
Same
smooth.
shit. You know what? I lost
Say
respect
it
for that dude.
before. Say it
Lost
before how
respect for
you
that
said
dude.
it. You should
Yeah,
have said
say
it
it with your chest.
you said it. Say it with your chest. Dak, what's up with these interceptions? Are you regressing? Because dog, it's concerning. You leading the league. Why ain't you saying it? So this I don't believe
You know
that's
what he
smooth.
looked like? You sit there as a
Yeah.
kid. You sit there. You talking shit about the teacher or somebody, and everybody you looking at all of a sudden get quiet. You're like, he behind me, ain't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
He behind me,
Exactly.
ain't he?
Right, right here. Well, let me ask you this. Yeah. Hey, I love that. And I love that host. Well, I can't remember her name, but I love you for life for busting him out when you said, "What ask him when he come on?" Because you talking all this trash about him the whole time, but when he get here, oh, like you said, "Oh, Dak, what's that? What's that on your wrist? That's your foul." Yeah, you being all nice when he comes on air. So shut that shit up, dog. If you're gonna bust your chest out and send that smoke, send it all the time. Don't send
I
that
lost
smoke
respect for
when
him, dude. When that shit. Remember how he did Russell Wilson?
yeah.
That before the game, he down there dapping him up, hugging him, asking him about his mama and them. The game comes on. He spends 3 hours roasting his ass, and then immediately scurries onto the field to go start hugging him again like they old friends. Nah, nah. Mm-mm.
And he's just
That
gonna go
dog
in there
don't.
and say, "You know, it's just radio, dog. I just gotta say it on air."
Yo, you
Nah,
say
bro,
I
keep
just,
it real.
you know,
Nah, you keep it
nah.
real. If you really believe that, say it. If he's your
No,
friend,
you was in
at
the
the end of
same.
the day,
Y'all share the same locker room for damn near a decade, and you want to do it? Nah.
appreciate you, boo. My boo knocked out some of them weirdo bots in here. So I appreciate you, boo, doing
Nice.
that for us. Thank you. So ain't nobody got to see that. So I appreciate you, boo. But as we get ready to round it up, because football's about to start, Mike, and we about to jump in this thing. Let's just talk about the playoffs. How do you feel? What's good? What's good with you, Texas D? This is my last question to you before you head off. How do you feel? And how do you Cowboys people feel? This is for the chat. This is for my dog, Mike White. How do y'all feel with the Cowboys going into the playoffs in 2023? Just give me an answer, chat and Mike.
Same way any playoff team should be nervous. I mean, I don't think there's a like I said there's not a good team in the league. The NFL's built that way. When it's done with Dak interceptions, I'm gonna go down to the tar pits and eat some paint with a spoon. Get out of here with that nonsense. Um, I mean, Buffalo's beatable. Kansas City's defense is absolutely terrible. Everybody in the NFC is busted in some form or another. Uh, it could go. It's cliche as it is, man. It's any given Sunday. You
Yeah.
go out there, and you leave your cleats on the bus, you'll get your shit smacked.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just posting a few of these. I got nervous. I got JB2 feel good. Tavis says mental is everything. Peasy says I feel confident. Pat Thomas says positive. Tim Warner no confidence. Um, Jamal Sims, he says he got some concern. Tyrone Church says I'm focusing. Me personally, Mike, I told you I'm ready. I want to smoke. There ain't no time to be nervous, in my opinion. We done seen this time and time again. So there ain't no point in my opinion, with to be nervous. We were nervous last year and got our ass kicked. We got to get that nervousness out of us. The team do. Mike McCarthy, this is your job. I like you as a coach. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if y'all don't like Mike McCarthy. I don't care if anybody don't like him. I like him. Okay. And I want him because he's been there before and he's done this. He's seen this. Get your team prepared for this, dog. This is, like I said, Mike, you guys can go down in history as the team that broke the curse. Because right now, to me, this is a curse. This you can break the curse. And they're going to talk about this team more than these other teams for a very long time. Number one, because it's recent. Number two, because you're breaking a curse. Number three, you didn't knock down doors already. You knocked down doors on winning seasons, knocked down doors on a playoff appearances as far as back to back. You can knock down a big door right now, coaching staff and Dallas Cowboys. Just do it like Nike.
I
It's
mean,
really that simple.
then there's a point that's getting lost in all this. The fact that they're even in the playoffs is a miracle. Period. You lost your starting left tackle for the season ever started. You lost your quarterback 30 snaps into week one. You lost your cornerback two. You lost your center. You didn't have a wide receiver two until T.Y. Hilton got here, which was like a week and a half ago. You lost your defensive tackles. Mike is playing with a damn tweaked knee and a hamstring and a blown out back. The fact that they're even here, and now it's a disappointment. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a disappointment if they're one and done. It would be, but this league ends in nothing but pain and suffering for 31 teams every single year. Period. Period. There's only one team that can win, and that's so best case scenario. You have 1 in 32 odds of winning the Super Bowl. Best case scenario, right? And then you got to add in all these factors, injuries, this, that, so on and so forth. The fact that they're here and they go out there in the playoffs and they lose by a field goal in a tight game where everybody plays well, that's just the way the shit goes. It really is. And we'll be upset and we'll be mad. Oh, it's time to fire people. And I'm sure I'll be angry as hell online. But at the end of the day, that's the way this league is engineered. We've seen it all year. We have seen it all year. We're supposed good teams. Dak ain't been. I can't even. We're supposed good teams go out there and lose against bad teams every single weekend. All 18. We're going to watch it. It's going to happen today. It happened last week. It happened the week before that. It happened the week before that, and it happened the week before that, so on and so forth. Go out there week one. You put your best performance on where you don't have. You're not blowing coverage and you don't have 4 interceptions. And I don't care who they're off. I don't care if the wide receiver literally stops and hands it to the cornerback. Don't have them. Play a clean game. And if you lose, you lost. Don't beat yourself. There's a difference there. There's an absolute difference there. And you're playing good teams or they would not be in the playoffs. That's the way I see it. And with this quarterback, the way he's playing, you have a chance. You have a chance. Really, you flat out do. And the second part of that is, when's the last time the best quarterback in the league won the Super Bowl? Patrick Mahomes, and then because Peyton Manning was the best quarterback in the league all the years Tom Brady won. I mean, obviously before retirement in Denver, yada yada, so on and so forth. The best quarterback usually don't even make the damn Super Bowl.
Well, like I said,
let's win it.
I did a video, Mike, and I named a whole bunch of quarterbacks. Matt Hasselbeck. I mentioned Rich Gannon. I mentioned Rex Grossman. I mentioned Jared Goff. I mentioned Stan Humphries. You know what I mean? These are guys that weren't no upper echelon quarterbacks that got the team. They got to the Super Bowl with the quarterback.
I remember when Jared Goff was better than Dak Prescott because he made a Super Bowl. I remember.
You feel me? I remember too. But you get what I'm saying? So that ain't there for people to say you can't go to the Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. I don't talk to those people.
Yeah, I would love nothing more to see. I would love nothing more to see Tom Brady spike a damn tablet on the bench and break it while he's losing by 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Against us.
I would love it.
Trent Dilfer, yes. Brad John. Bro, you get what I'm saying? I want to smoke. And this is my thing. This is my thing with it, how I feel about it. I feel good. And this is how I feel. I don't want to get rid of Mike McCarthy, even if it don't go great, because I just don't. I'm getting tired of the switchovers. Okay. Yeah. I'm tired of you got a guy a couple years and it didn't work. Now we're going to go after a shot. I'm tired of that. We need cohesion, bro.
He ain't safe. I don't agree. I don't agree with it, but he ain't safe. If they go out there and they collapse in the wild card round, he may not make it.
I don't think he will either because
I've said
Jerry Jones is 80.
Yeah, I've said this several different times. I don't think there's a coach in the league that's simultaneously touching the coach of the year line and the get fired line at the same time.
That's crazy, right?
Outside of McCarthy. Yeah, I really don't. just because of circumstances and everything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he deserves Coach of the Year? No. Does he deserve some votes? Hell yes, he does. He went out there and rattled off 5 wins with a damn backup quarterback.
That nobody wanted.
Nobody. He got cut and made cleared waivers like 4 or 5 times.
Nobody wanted Cooper Rush, and he will never start in the NFL ever. He won't even be
So
a backup nowhere.
there's the fact that he held this thing out of the ditch, and once again, the fact that you're even in the playoffs speaks to what he's done with this team. That's why he's touching Coach of the Year line. Now you go out there and you look underprepared in the wild card round and get smacked by 14 points.
Yeah. Yeah. And that sucks, That sucks. But that's the
I
world we
agree.
live in.
It's
That's the
it's
world we live in.
it's a because Stephen Jones, Cowboy ain't going to meet Jerry Jones in the tunnel
Yep.
and talk him down from firing the coach in the tunnel like he wanted to do Jason Garrett when that damn playoff collapse versus the Rams. He was going to fire Jason Garrett in the tunnel after that game.
Right.
And Catboy talked him down off the hill.
So let's hey, Mike McCarthy, this is all you got to do. You get the Bucks. If you don't beat anybody else, beat Tom Brady, you safe. You think he's safe if he beat Tom Brady?
Yeah.
He's safe if he beat Tom Brady.
One playoff win.
He's safe. We got to get one playoff win, Mike. One playoff win. Shout out to my dog.
Granted, unless you go out there the next week and lose by them 47 or something. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel you. It's how you lose, Mike. I totally agree. It's how you play and how you lose.
Like say they're up by like 17 in the third quarter and somehow end up losing by a field goal at the end of overtime.
Yeah, that might be over with. It's over with. Yeah, you're gone. You're right. So, Cowboys, coaches, don't let your head coach down because I like Mike McCarthy. Shout out to my dog, the Lunatic. Ain't seen you in a while, but $2 Holly said we winning. We're bringing the NFC 2 seed to Dallas, DC 4L. Hey, however it happens, all I know is I want the Brady smoke, dog. I want Brady. I want to go there. I want to beat him, keep Mike McCarthy's job. Let's go to the next round, have a good performance, and let's see what goes from there. But I want the Tom Brady smoke. I'm ready to slay dragons, and that's just how I feel about it. So as we get ready to head off here, dog, let them know, what you're doing, how they can, if they follow Twitter or anything, let them know how they can get at you.
That's my handle. There's my handle. There's a camera right there. There's my handle. That little PayPal there if you want to help a brother out. That's more than appreciated. You ain't got to, but I'm on Twitter. I don't have Instagram or Facebook or nothing like that. So I'll be on the Twitter talking nonsense. And once again, I'm probably going to go off today. In-game tweets are a safe space. You have a 3-hour window where you can say whatever the hell you want. It's a safe space where
you ain't watched the all 22. You don't really know what happened. You can just make off the wall comments and then come back the next day and say I was totally wrong on that.
Okay. See, I'm sorry that I overreacted. You know how I get that liquor.
After watching the film, I'm gonna have to come back and say I was totally wrong on 5 of those plays, okay?
But that one I got right. And that dude deserves to be cut.
Yeah, he was wrong, but I was right on 2, but 7 I was wrong, y'all. But that's all right. That was just in the heat. I was in my emotions. Don't follow that. You feel me?
Hey, we bully Dalton Schultz and he starts playing better. So we're gonna have to do that. I'm gonna start off from the minute the kickoff starts. I'm gonna start bullying Dalton Schultz, and so he doesn't drop his damn touchdown. He's guaranteed to drop a week. That man checks his Twitter at halftime and comes out a new person.
You don't play with Cowboys Nation. He blocked everybody. He blocked all the Cowboys Nation. I ain't listening to none of the smoke no more with y'all. I feel he like, I'm done with all you Cowboys fans. I'm blocking all y'all. He just kept Cowboys and just blocked everybody.
He can't block on the field, so he has to block on social media.
Hey, whatever he got to do. But hey, you know what? We're gonna see. So we'll see how this game goes. I hope the main thing to come out of here is injury free. That's the biggest thing. The only thing I care about in this game. Injury free. I don't care about nothing else. That's the dub. Nope. No major injuries. Everybody's coming out good.
No crap game. I don't want Dak with a damn 30 QBR or some crap like that. No injuries.
Right. And there we are. So, hey, as we get ready out of here, shout out to everybody who was in the chat. We was banging all day, over 100 in the chat, man. We appreciate the donations. We appreciate everybody with great comments, great questions. Love all the support. Keep on supporting Big Game James, Mike White, Burgers Blitzes. You know how we do. We don't have no set day. We just pop it on when we pop it on, but just make sure when we pop it on, you be there to watch it. And I know we're going to have some good playoff coverage, especially if we get Tampa Bay that first round. We definitely going to have a Burgers Blitzes playoff playoff show, and you're definitely going to love
I'm gonna
that.
come in a room like this.
Hell yeah, Back to the Future, baby. It's our time, man. It's our time. We eventually got to break this curse. I seen the Boston Red Sox break the curse. I seen the Atlanta Braves break a curse. I seen a lot of teams break a curse in my lifetime, and I need to see the Cowboys break this curse before I hit that grave. So for myself, Big Game James and Mike White, we'll be talking to you soon. We out. Peace.
Peace.
All right, big dog.
Later, Bubba.
Later. Take care, y'all. I don't know if I'm going to do a play-by-play today. I don't know. We'll see. But if I do, just jump on in there, get it, grab it, all that good stuff. But I don't know if I am, because it's really kind of a meaningless game. I just kind of want to see without the injury. So I may not, but I may. But if I do, make sure you check it out, all that good stuff, and keep supporting Big Game James. Yeah, the show's over, but there's a great thing. There's a rewind button. Rewind. You can hit that rewind and watch it all day and rewind it, because we had some good nuggets in there. Texas D903 gave the $2 holla. We really appreciate that. He said I came in late, going to start the show over. We love that. Like I said, I appreciate all the donations from everybody. Let's keep this grinding. I got another great high school interview dropping either tonight or next week from Coulter Smith from Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville Mel, they're the second winningest high school program in the United States. They got to the championship game and lost, but how they got to the championship was everywhere. They were actually on ESPN, everything. So you definitely got to check out this interview. He's a great kid. I definitely think he's going places. I call him Baby Breeze, and we'll see what happens. But for myself, as I said, Mike White, make sure you check out the game today, Cowboys, Commanders, and let's get ready for these playoffs, wherever who it is. But I want all the smoke. Either it's Tom Brady or who else, I want all the smoke. Feel me? I'm out.